Tip here, if I'm trying to get a show face, what I like to do is I like to joint my bad face because I can just kind of run it through really quick. Surface finish doesn't have to be amazing, it just has to be accurate enough. But as long as you can get a piece of stock that's flat enough to run through the planer, I'm happy. It can come in varying thicknesses because it shrinks when it dries. We call that skip plane when the full face isn't S4S. And if you're trying to have one show face, you kind of need it to be flat, unless you're going for the skip plane look. And if you're going for that, just ignore this. But what I like to do is I like to get rid of those little boogered edges, put those on the jointed side so that it doesn't matter what it looks like, because I just need to be able to glue on my edges. That's a tip. Do what you want with it. On that little bit of squeeze out you get on a panel glue up, I like to use a paint scraper. I know it may seem a little unconventional, but instead of using a chisel and screwing up a chisel, even if it's a cheap one, I like to use these paint scrapers. I know this may not be feasible for everybody, but I like to take my panels after they've been glued up and run them through the planer to get to my final thickness. To ensure the best results possible, I'll take the panel and run my show face up first at the same thickness that I finished the boards at before I glued them up. And then I'll flip it, remove a couple of thousandths off the bottom so that it's completely flat across. And then I do the finish pass on my good side so that I can guarantee it's at a good surface finish quality and it's at the right thickness. Okay, just a light amount in the groove, and then come on top, do a little bit right here. You want to just avoid having a ton of glue in there, which I know seems kind of counterintuitive, but with the way a locomiter's set up, you run the risk of getting glue to come out the miter, and we don't want that. So I like to start on an end, work to the other end. Especially on long stuff like this, it works out any wrinkles that might be in the wood. You're going to want to use quite a few clamps because we don't need any problem spots showing up in our work. And now that we've done these big ones, you come through, you just kind of tighten up any gaps with some longer bar clamps, which there shouldn't be a ton, but any that are there, we want them to look good. So you gotta work quick when you're doing stuff like this, which is hard because you wanna make sure you take your time and do it right, but there's only so much time you have realistically when you're gluing stuff up. If you ask me, that's why glue ups are like my least favorite thing to do, because you could potentially screw up a lot of work either not putting enough clamps on or putting a clamp in the wrong spot or whatever, especially with these lock miters. I've had everything going super well, and then my clamps were putting pressure a little to one side or the other and opened it up really bad. Opened up a gap in the miter itself. So I definitely have a fear of glue ups. To avoid doing glue ups altogether. I had a whole dialogue planned out for showing you how I glue up the lock miters, but I figured it'd be easier if I just said this. Put the glue in the channel. Any glue that's on the outside towards the actual corner will cause your edges to not seal up properly, and go easy on the glue because it's two tightly machined surfaces that you're trying to put glue in. So for the best results, put a little bit of glue on and avoid the outer edges. And if you do that, your lock miter is going to come out pretty nice.